Welcome back. It appears to be a great time to sell a house on the SUNCOAST.
Particularly in Venice, where it's a seller's market. Home prices are on the rise while inventory is on the decline. ABC 7's Christopher Bradley shows us what's out there.
Good evening. In the housing market, 2016 did not start off strong, but it looks like that might be changing.
I'm not sure why the buyers were hesitating, but there really was not much inventory for the buyers to buy. When they came down, they couldn't find houses that they wanted.
But that seems to have changed, says RE/MAX realtor Carrie Battaglia.
We have picked up in the last several months, and actually this month we're doing pretty well.
With 500 people moving to Florida every day, it's no surprise the numbers are going up. Year over year, cash sales are up. Granted, it's not a huge bump, from about 2,600 cash sales to 2,700.
Generally, 70% of my business is cash, and most of the agents that I talk to.
Those coming down here with cash are usually retirees, the ones with deep pockets or comfortable nest eggs. But they're not the only ones choosing warm beaches over the cold winters.
I am personally seeing more younger couples buying in the area.
It's rare for those couples to have large amounts of cash, so they're applying for loans, but they're facing stricter standards.
It takes a lot to get a loan, so the lenders are not just giving out loans like they used to. So I think we're just seeing a normal, steady increase in a normal, balanced market.
That leads Battaglia to have hope we won't be facing another market implosion, at least for now. One problem home sellers are facing: 6,000 new homes are expected to be built in the Venice area. Battaglia said today, who wants to buy an old home when you could buy a new one? In the 7 South newsroom in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. Crews are taking the first steps in building a new public library in Northport. They're starting the preliminary groundwork for the new facility off Toledo Blade Boulevard near I-75. The library is being built in conjunction with the new SUNCOAST Technical College there. It's a joint $15 million project between Sarasota County and the school district. The library is expected to open in October of 2017. A long talked about water park could be on the way for Manatee County. The county is issuing a request for proposals for what they're calling an aquatic and recreation complex. The site could also include a hotel. Proposals must be submitted by 4 p.m. on June 1st. The county wants to offer a first-class recreational amenity to the community, as well as to promote tourism. One proposal was already submitted to build a water park with a dozen rides at Tom Bennett Park near State Road 64 and I-75.
Florida Fish and Wildlife officers are urging people to be safe while boating. There were more than 700 boating accidents in Florida last year. That's an increase of 103 from 2014. The number of fatalities, however, did drop. Florida leads the nation with the number of registered boats. People falling overboard was the leading cause of death during these boating accidents. Most accidents and injuries could be prevented if boaters pay attention to their surroundings and use basic safety measures.
Make sure you have all of your safety equipment that's required. We highly encourage the wearing of life jackets at all times. A lot of our fatalities every year are simple falls overboard where the end result is the drowning of the victim. If they'd been wearing a life jacket, their likelihood of surviving would be so much better.
Boating Safety Week in Florida begins tomorrow and runs through Memorial Day weekend. FWC officers will be on the water, making sure boaters have the necessary safety equipment and making sure no one is driving a boat while under the influence. Multiple agencies will be at the 10th Street boat ramp in Sarasota tomorrow to make sure people are staying safe on the water. The Sarasota Police Department is teaming up with the Coast Guard and FWC for a boating safety inspection day. Boaters can bring their boat to Centennial Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Officials will make sure families have the proper safety equipment on their boat to ensure a safe and enjoyable Memorial Day weekend.
That's neat. They're going to be out there to help folks.
It's great.
Have a safe one. That's so big because just about everywhere in Florida you can get in a boat and have some fun.
That's true.
But it can be dangerous out there as well. Let's get the latest on our weather. Good weekend for boating. Let's find out with Bob Harrigan.
Yeah, it's funny, the forecast for boaters this morning, not too bad, really. No real threat of any significant rainfall anticipated, but this is what can happen. Big storms hundreds of miles away over the northern Gulf of Mexico sent out this gust front, if you will. It's a roll cloud, and we saw a very interesting cloud formation right around the noon hour today. What didn't have a lot of rainfall in it. That's similar to what I got caught in 10 miles offshore about 15 years ago. There were no storms around, but there were about 100 miles away, and this one the same case. That wind right there, that little line, that thin line of clouds, winds at 50 miles an hour, so over 40 knots. Moving through areas and hardly any rainfall at all, just a few sprinkles with that. Those storms now along the East Coast. Obviously, another line of storms developing in the Gulf of Mexico. We'll have to keep an eye on it. We had some big rain the other night with the system. We'll have details on that coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. We're still getting details about a shooting that put the White House on lockdown. A uniformed Secret Service officer shot an armed person on a street outside of the White House this afternoon. A law enforcement official says the person approached the officer and drew a weapon, and the officer opened fire. The suspect was taken into custody and is now in critical condition. The lockdown at the White House has been lifted. President Obama was not on the premises. He was playing a round of golf at the time. Vice President Joe Biden was in the White House complex and was secured during that lockdown. As search crews begin to recover debris thought to be from Egypt Air Flight 804, there are growing concerns a bomb could have brought it down, and security at the international airport in Paris could have been compromised.
Search planes scouring the Mediterranean Sea after Egyptian officials say suitcases, seats, and human remains were found, believed to be from Egypt Air Flight 804. Investigators hoping the wreckage could lead to the plane's black boxes.
Right now, we've found some debris, which will help narrow down the search area so they can put the microphones in the water. They'll be listening for the little metallic pinger.
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused the plane, traveling early Thursday morning from Paris to Cairo, to drop from radar at 37,000 feet with no distress call. Greek officials say its radar shows the jet turning left and then strangely to the right before vanishing.
It is a tragedy. And by knowing the reason, we would be able to know how we would react.
Egyptian officials admit terrorism is more likely than a technical problem, but every possibility is being considered. Investigators looking into the backgrounds of all 66 people on board, including Captain Mohammed Shukair and co-captain Mohammed Assam. Security officials saying they found no one on that plane had any known links to terrorism. Investigators are also reviewing the jet's stops before this flight, including one in Tunisia hours earlier.
They're going to make a very serious examination and a series of interviews with anybody who had any type of exposure to this aircraft.
Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris, where the flight originated, has in place some of the most enhanced security measures in the world. Officials there are now scanning surveillance footage for possible clues.
The number of pregnant women in the U.S. infected with the Zika virus is now 3 times higher. That's because of how the government is counting cases. There are now 157 pregnant women infected with Zika in the 50 states, up from 48 last week. Previously, officials had reported how many pregnant women had both Zika symptoms and positive blood tests. Now the CDC is counting all women who tested positive, regardless of their symptoms. The U.S. swim team isn't taking any chances with the Zika virus. The team is moving their pre-Olympic training camp from Puerto Rico to Atlanta. The team is now planning to hold a training camp in San Antonio in July and then head to Atlanta instead of Puerto Rico for several more days of training. The team is still planning to take part in the Summer Games in Brazil. The Olympic swimming competition will start on August 6th.
More people are skipping college, and some experts think that's a good news for the economy. According to the 2014 government data, college enrollment in the U.S. dropped from its peak in 2010 by more than 812,000 students. Community colleges and universities are seeing the biggest declines. Those are the schools that typically draw heavily from lower income and minority households. Still, some believe the dropping enrollment is a sign the economy is improving. The U.S. Undersecretary of Education says historically, as the economy improves and more Americans get back to work, college enrollment declines. Some colleges are paying big bucks for commencement speakers these days. The University of Houston paying $35,000 to book astronaut Scott Kelly. Rutgers paid the same for journalist Bill Moyers. Colleges that pay for celebrities say it can impress donors and pique the interest of potential students. But some schools have drawn sharp criticism for paying those hefty speaking fees.
The Venice Indians baseball team is getting ready for a huge game tomorrow. The Indians are heading back to the state championship game after beating Creekside yesterday 3-2. If Venice wins tomorrow, it will be the school's 4th state title in the last 5 years. The Indians will play Gaither High School out of Tampa in the Class 7A title game at JetBlue Park in Fort Myers. The game starts at 12:35. Good luck.
Tune in here to ABC 7 Weekend Edition. We'll have the highlights, and we hope is a highlights of a victory.
Hope so.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, from the biggest loser to inspirational speaker.
A contestant on the hit TV show shares her weight loss secrets with a group in Bradenton. That story is next.
The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC 7. We're here for you.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, it's all about getting more for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. Stop by to see our new state-of-the-art showroom today, and you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet, a new 2016 Subaru Forester, for just $229 a month. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
We are delighted to have Dr. Kaminsky join our team at the Totola Cancer Center.
I'm a radiation oncologist. I was at the National Institutes of Health, most recently at the Medical College of Georgia, specialized in central nervous system cancers, prostate cancers, and other types. At the Totola Cancer Center, we have a level of technology that is second to none.
He has a great wealth of knowledge and shares the same passion that we have for patient care.
My family and I are happy to be here in Sarasota and excited to treat our patients here at the Totola Cancer Center.
When you don't know who you are, you can be anyone you want to be. You're coming with me.
Ooh, where are we going?
To the most wondrous place in the world.
Roll up, Tangleville's traveling circus is here!
This isn't a fairy story. People don't always live happily ever after. But we will. I'm Hetty Feather, and this is my story.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
You know what scares me? No electricity. Yeah, when this magical box suddenly stops working, I call the pros at Mr. Sparky and they send a superhero to save the day. How's it going, Pablo?
It's going great, Mike.
Pablo possesses amazing skill. He can perform incredible feats at blinding speed.
Superhero! Couldn't have done it without you.
Modest, too.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Just to be clear, I don't live here.
Need a mortgage? Compare and save. Trustco Bank offers a variety of low-cost mortgages that are right for you, with friendly personal service that's made Trustco one of the area's top mortgage lenders. Visit TrustcoBank.com for details.
Your hometown bank, Trustco.
Equal housing lender.
Biggest Loser star Hannah Curley shares some inspiration at Blake Medical Center's 2nd annual Women's Health and Wellness Luncheon. ABC 7's Alex Redmond has more.
Thanks, Haley. Losing more than 100 excess pounds is commendable for anyone, but competing with others in the same vulnerable position on TV in front of millions, then sharing your experience, takes a little more moxie.
What would you do for this level of transformation?
I had to pull a car the very first day with my colleagues. We'll push a car up a hill with the brake on, Jillian's truck.
All on national TV.
I had high blood pressure, pre-diabetic, and I was just very lost. The show and what I've been able to do for myself has impacted my health 100%. I'm off all medications, no blood pressure, no diabetes.
Hannah Curley of season 11 of Biggest Loser shows up to share her tips on how she stays healthy and how the show The Biggest Loser actually gave her something as a woman that she wanted more than anything.
I'm very pregnant right now. My sister as well. She has a 9-month-old, and I've also got married in the last year.
Curley placed runner-up to her sister.
So she weighed in the 260s. I weighed 248. We each wanted to lose 75 pounds-ish, you know, and we both ended up losing 129 and 120.
Reaching out to family, friends, and medical providers is important, says Curly, but you are the key to your own health and wellness, the message she shares at every opportunity.
Hannah's actually an HCA employee, which is our company, and we had heard her speak several years ago at the American Heart Association and really was enthralled with her story.
Diane Lehman, Director of Business Development at Blake Medical Center, says Curly was a natural choice for motivational speaker at Blake's Exceptional Women's Luncheon.
So when we were talking about women in the age ranges between 40 and 65, which is kind of the focus of this event,
to show health and wellness comes in many different shapes and forms, and how to get there, explains Lehman.
She not only is watching her diet, but she's had lots of motivational activities that she's been involved in with HCA and in the community.
Curly shares she never really admitted how depressed she was.
I was in the lowest of lows. There were times where I felt like disappearing. All my dreams kind of came true this year, and I'm able to travel around and talk to other people about losing weight and about being healthy. This is a life I could have never even dreamed up for myself.
Curly says her original motivation was to get healthy physically, spiritually, and emotionally, and we wish her well with her pregnancy.
And Alex, we have read some recent stories about some people who have not been as successful as her and who have gained a lot of the weight back because their metabolism is slow. How has she been doing this?
Well, she's actually been doing exactly what she's known for, which is she walks the walk, she talks the talk. She does what she says she's going to do, and she doesn't go anywhere when she's traveling throughout the country without a game plan. She makes sure she sets up a half an hour to do her fitness routine, and she thinks about what she eats before she does it.
Very good. All right, congrats to her. Thank you, Alex. Now to SUNCOAST Traffic Watch. There are some issues on I-75. There is a stalled vehicle near Bee Ridge Road and some backup heading north between Fruitville Road and University. Now let's head over to Bob.
Haley, this was impressive coming in this morning. I tell you, we watched this coming down from Tampa today. It was up at the National Weather Service, and I slowed this down from Anna Maria looking off toward the west-northwest, and look at that, just comes on through. And this is only an hour worth of time lapse, so it moved through pretty quickly. And this is just one of the photos sent in from the area nearby from Katie Tupin. And when you get this kind of roll cloud, it creates this very massive looking system that almost looks like an alien spacecraft as it makes its way through. It just produced a few sprinkles. That was it. The outflow from some big storms in the Gulf of Mexico earlier this morning created that, and then it moved quickly to the east. And because of the heating of the day, storms really fired up along that gust front along the east coast, and some severe weather there. Also, a lot of severe weather reports over North Florida. We have another round of storms headed our way, and I'll tell you what, the models aren't doing very well with this. There's quite a bit of lightning strikes going on with that system off in the Gulf. It's still many hours away from us, and you can see these are all individual storm reports, trees down, power outages, as well as wind gusts. We've had wind gusts up to nearly 50 miles an hour right there at Anna Maria Island. In fact, the storm report suggesting the winds at 45 miles an hour, just to the north of that, up to nearly 50 miles an hour at Fort DeSoto Park. But that is all gone. Sunshine now, and temperatures have really warmed up. All the storms well to the east. This, as I mentioned, a long way away. Still, I would say it's about 8 hours away. This may be a little underdone, and it's 125 miles west-northwest of us. The models are suggesting that it won't hold together, but I got a feeling that we'll get something out of it, and maybe not as intense as it was a couple of nights ago. 90, yes, it is hot, and the humidity, thankfully, is somewhat lower at 45%. Winds are calm. The pressure 30 inches even, and that is holding steady right now. The high today, 91, just 3 degrees shy of the record set back in 1974. This morning's low was warm, too, at 77 degrees. That's due to that westerly wind. No rainfall to report, and we're doing pretty well for the month thus far. You can see temperatures have cooled where all that rain is going on. 71 in Tallahassee, 90 in Sarasota. It's 84 now in Miami. And around town, Lakewood Ranch also at 90, 89 Northport, a bit cooler at Lake Placid and Sebring, and right at the coast, it's into the low 80s there. Well, here's one model forecast showing that it will loosen up a little bit and not be that intense as it makes its way through sometime around 1, 2 in the morning on the SUNCOAST. And it looks like after that, mainly inland storms in the afternoon and evening on Saturday. Now, the rain chance really lessens on Sunday as well. So we're not expecting a washout for the weekend. Should be pretty good. And temperatures should be just a little bit cooler than they have been. Instead of 90 tomorrow, we'll look for a high right around 85 degrees. So it shouldn't be too bad. Satellite and radar picture showing some clouds and showers over the northern Rockies and throughout the Ohio Valley. Some showers there. Nothing too intense at this point. And as far as temperatures go, Pretty cool in Detroit, 72 in Toronto, 74 in the nation's capital, 79 in Albuquerque, and 80 in Minot, North Dakota. Well, for boaters, winds look like this. Winds out of the south turning to the west at 5 to 10 knots tomorrow. Should be pretty good boating on Sunday, too, with just a light chop out there. Water temperature starting to heat up, 85 degrees, and the UV index will be high, so load up on the sunscreen. Low tide, 7:56. Sunset should be a good one, 8:15. And the forecast tonight does call for showers late tonight. Most activities should not be disrupted for the next several hours. Then tomorrow, a slight chance for a shower or two. A high temperature, 85, so a little bit cooler. And the extended forecast is calling for gorgeous weather on Sunday and temperatures staying into the mid-80s as opposed to the low 90s. And then just a slight chance for showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Well, get a look at this video. These are meteorologists from the National Weather Service on Rick Davis's boat, who is from Bradenton. And this is what they pulled in just 8 miles offshore. It's amazing. I saw this today. I was up at the National Weather Service. They told me about it. That is a blackfin tuna. I had to go 90 miles offshore 25 years ago to get that, and there she is, Sharon Austin catching this. Sharon, I believe, catching this one. She was not a meteorologist, but a great shot that was. And get a look at this. This was from Exuma in the Bahamas. Video coming off there, and you can see that dog just kind of having fun. The dolphins swimming around it and just playing. Is that cool or what? That's a big dolphin. Kind of looked like Flipper there, doing the backstroke, kind of. A nice shot there. And then get a look at this. This is, again, some of those cow nose rays swimming around Anna Maria. This was just shot a couple of days ago, too, from Katie Tupin, who also sent in that great shot of the storm clouds coming in we showed just a minute ago. So lots going on in the waters around town, and I get a look at what's happening as far as the pictures go for us. Gone fishing. These are the meteorologists from the Tampa Bay Weather Service there, the National Weather Service, and they had some kingfish luck there. Rick Davis holding up 2 kingfish, and of course Sharon catching her big one. They had sushi right there at the dock too. Wow. And we did the same thing. Nice picture of that. And then get a look at this. Susan McGuire. She is the wife of the captain, Larry McGuire, up there in Bradenton, and she brought in this huge cobia. And then Larry says, you know what? I can get some big fish too. Those are red red grouper. He calls them fire truck groupers. He is a former fireman there, so he caught those huge grouper in. Captain Scott Moore sent some video in too, and I got just one picture here of a big tarpon jumping today. He just got that this afternoon, and that's a huge tarpon that was jumping around there. We'll show more of that possibly next week as well. Lots going on. Lots of action out in the waters right now because that water temperature is warming up, so there's a lot of action. It gets too warm, 90, they don't want to do anything. They want to go elsewhere, deeper water.
That's true.
Only 8 miles out.
Yeah.
Of bluefin tuna. How about that?
Blackfin tuna, yeah, absolutely. Pretty amazing.
Wow.
All right, Bob, thank you. The FDA approving a new look for the nutrition information on packaged foods. The changes are the first in decades. These new labels make it easier for people to see the calories because they are now big and bold at the top. The new policy also addresses differences in sizing. For example, whether you're drinking a 12 or a 20-ounce can of soda, the label now sees that drink as 1 serving. The changes come after a push from the Obama administration on nutrition. Manufacturers have until the end of July of 2018 to comply with this new standard.
I think I like to know,
Sometimes it's just so small,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be sure you know what you're eating and it's clear. Yeah. Entertainment news is next.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass & Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass & Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
I'm Dale Mast, and we're celebrating 40 years on the west coast of Florida.
It's our 40th anniversary, and it's time for a celebration, the Culligan Hydration Celebration. For a limited time, celebrate by taking $250 off any Culligan home system. That's $250 off Culligan water softener systems, drinking water systems, or whole house water filters. Help us celebrate our 40th anniversary, and remember,
for better water, pure and simple, call today and say, "Hey, Culligan man."
I see great fortune in your future, David.
It's Brian.
I see houses, boats, cars, millions of dollars. And you will marry a beautiful, exotic, fortune teller.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
With a $10 million fortune scratch-off game from the Florida Lottery, the odds of a brighter future are better than ever. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, because Sarasota Ford guarantees you our lowest price on every new Ford every day. Save on America's best-selling truck, 39 years running, the Ford F-150, Fusions, Escapes, over 800 vehicles on-site or online, all on sale. Buy with 0% for 60 months. And now, get up to 2,000 trade assistance. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Hey, I'm really glad that you're taking a few moments to check out this video about the ministry of First Sarasota, Downtown Baptist Church. I'm William Hill, lead pastor here at First Sarasota. For the last 15 years, it's been my privilege to share in the life of this faith community, a community that centers itself around faith, friends, and family. Indeed, it is a ministry that's been in existence right here in this wonderful city for over a century.
Trustco Bank has hometown checking, free mobile app, no monthly fees, and free use of over 55,000 ATMs worldwide. Are you happy with your bank? Go to TrustcoBank.com for details.
Your hometown bank, Trustco.
Member FDIC.
Actor Dylan McDermott is looking for some aspiring actors to star in a Sarasota-based web series.
McDermott is writing and directing the series, which is about human trafficking. The series follows the story of Sugar, a young woman who becomes a victim of human trafficking, but still manages to find hope. The series is being produced by Ringling College's SEMCOR Productions. The filmmakers will start shooting later this month. They will be looking for local men and women to play extras.
John Malkovich has a new film that you probably won't ever get to see in your lifetime. The film, 100 Years, the movie, you'll never see. Well, it'll be screened in November of 2115. So, yep, most of us will never see it. The physical form of the film is locked in a safe that is on display in France. This film project was inspired by the time it takes to create Louis VIII cognac, which takes 100 years to craft. So it's all publicity stuff.
No, totally. It's just an advertisement. Yeah.
It's not going to be worth the wait.
No, definitely not. Well, I guess we're giving them some
yeah.
publicity right here. Yep, it did work. We'll be right back.
The home at 200 Pine Street. The agent. The office. The agent out of the office. This is what you see. This is what you don't see. The hustle, the huddle, the drawing board, the shuffle, the open house. The bees buzzing. The buyer, the gentle nudge, the leap of faith, the offer, the negotiation, the pit bull, finding the middle ground, the sigh of relief, the close, the sign of a RE/MAX agent.